Excuse me, your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you? Spare me your white savior complex.
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
Okay, this is starting to look bad. Just when you thought things couldn't get worse for Rachel Zegler and the live-action Snow White disaster, they do. The Simpsons come in like a yellow-skinned wrecking ball and drop the cruelest parody of the year. In their most recent episode, they show a fake movie called Snow White that you're imagining. And yes, it is exactly what it sounds like, a full-on tone-deaf remake of Disney's classic. The internet loves it so much that it's like popcorn. People who know Rachel well say she's not even close to smiling. It looks like she's very angry. They are angry at the parody, the news stories, and the fact that the only thing that has stayed the same about this movie is the pushback. At the same time, The Simpsons gave the whole thing its final form, cartoon fame. Because once you become a Springfield joke, you're done. That's what it's like to be buried under a statue of marble that says, "Here lies the Gilboss era." Let's look at this in more detail. Rachel's Snow White was called a soulless, self-centered reworking by The Simpsons. During the episode, she lectures peasants, bans princes, and sees her movie bomb in a nearly empty theater before losing it on Krusty the Clown's talk show. Not subtle at all. Exactly right. And the crazy thing is, this wasn't even overdone. It really did happen. In real life, Rachel Zegler said that her Snow White wasn't interested in love, and that the prince was just after her.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
She stated that she did not mind if others disagreed with her version because they would still come to visit her. Spoiler alert, they didn't.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Attendees experienced a sense of isolation in theaters. That is not a vibe. That's a horror movie introduction. Rachel has been reportedly cut from Disney's media channels and is currently avoiding the press. The Simpsons is making her own national joke. It's not simply satire anymore. It's a cultural cleanup. To truly grasp how Rachel Zegler went from Disney's next big thing to Snow White, the clown princess of pop culture, we need to rewind. Let's return to the beginning of the fairy tale, which rapidly became sidetracked. Rachel Zegler's Disney narrative started strong. She had recently completed West Side Story. Steven Spielberg's approval still shines on her resume. She was cast as the new face of Snow White, a legendary role that may have been her moment. A career-defining legacy ensures a Disney princess moment. Rather of embracing the original's charm, she took a more aggressive approach, as if the 1937 version owed her money. She began conducting interviews that resembled a live podcast, discussing the issues with fairy tales rather than just promoting them. She mocked the prince. She dismisses the love story. She stated that it is no longer 1937. As if that were a revolutionary notion.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. And so when we came to reimagining the actual role of Snow White, it became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just and who can become a fantastic leader. And the reality is, you know, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom.
Even her defenders were taken aback by her confident and contemptuous tone while discussing modernizing characters. No one is denying that Snow White can be upgraded. The issue is mocking the event you were hired to celebrate, pretending to be above the story in order to profit on nostalgia. That irritated some folks. She not only distanced herself from the original, but also rolled her eyes at the audience that grew up with it. Then came the viral meltdown. Rachel stated in an interview that people would always queue to see her, regardless of the situation. And the internet never forgets. The film's test screenings received inconsistent, flat, and smug feedback, prompting Rachel to double down instead of taking a step back and adjusting the PR strategy. The actress took to social media, labeling critics as trolls and urging followers to unfollow her if they disagreed with the film's direction. She yelled as if she were fighting Reddit mods in the town square. Behind the scenes, Terror Disney apparently began scrambling. The theaters were empty, press stores were disappearing, entire interviews were removed from distribution. Executives were reportedly furious, according to sources. Bob Iger questioned why the remake of a billion-dollar IP was failing like a TikTok influencer's acting debut. South Park then added to the chaos. The presentation mocked Disney's content strategy, including its focus on identity politics, repeated reboots, and corporate messaging. The satire was nasty. They depicted Disney as a studio focused on checking boxes rather than telling tales. Guess which franchise they selected as a punching bag? Yes, Snow White. Disney had become a parody of itself when South Park and The Simpsons both mocked their films in the same season. This is not a red flag. A large inflatable blimp warns of mistakes. Minecraft was the final nail in Gilboa's coffin. Despite Rachel's struggles with empty theaters and losing PR skirmishes, the previously expected flop Minecraft movie smashed all expectations. Following the release of the film, there was a rapid surge in Minecraft popularity. Kids were dressed in suits. The theaters were filled. It was complete anarchy, the good kind. It didn't need to be serious or preachy, just have fun. Made people laugh and attracted families out to enjoy themselves. Guess who was leading the push? Jack Black, the man in the meme, the pandemonium gremlin of Hollywood. He sang, screamed, and provided audiences with the ridiculous fun they expected. No lectures or interviews about rewriting the narrative, just pleasure. Rumors suggest that he confronted Rachel Zegler behind the scenes, questioning her handling of criticism and whether insulting the fanbase was effective. Although there is no confirmation, it seems plausible. While Snow White was bearing her Minecraft sword, one generated $300 million globally in a weekend, while the other only made $160 million in 3 weeks. This was not a fight, but rather a cultural uppercut. In the present, The Simpsons have signed a contract with Disney for the Zegler family. Snow White transformed into a cartoon that will last forever, whereas Rachel has turned dark. There have been no posts, interviews, or responses. Only silence. The girl who previously declared people would always come to see her is now seated exactly where The Simpsons predicted. A mocking miscast actress experiences burnout in real time. So, what can we learn from these simple examples? You can't sell nostalgia while being embarrassed by it. You can't promote a remake to fans and then tell them they're the problem. You can't cast someone who dismisses fairy tales and then look surprised when the magic fades. Fans are wiser than studios believe. Condescension is what they dislike, not change. The audience values heart, charm, and a sense of storytelling in filmmaking rather than advancement. The Simpsons is using a laugh track to remind viewers of Snow White's failure in comparison to Minecraft's success. Share your thoughts in the comments. Is Rachel Zegler unfairly dragged, or did she dig her own hole one interview at a time? Should Disney stop remakes or stop casting people who seem to despise the stories they're in? And when is Jack Black getting his own Minecraft spin-off? Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and comment. Have a fantastic day and see you in the next.